Director of Exercise Physiology, Metabolic testing here at Endurance Rehab. I have been in the field for 16 years now. My background is in exercise physiology and athletic training. In my career, I've probably tested about 52 to 5,300 athletes over the years. There are quite a few differences in each of the tests. You could trace it back years and years ago where field testing was basically the only format out there. You know, whether it be a 3-mile run course or a 10-mile bike course or whatever, and you just measured your time to see what's going on, see if you're progressing, things like that. And then as time went by, the introduction of heart rate monitors, which became more and more popular in the 80s, it's like, okay, well, let's do that same thing and measure your heart rate. And then as sport evolved, whether it be cycling, running, triathlon, they start to learn that, okay, heart rate is only one measure of what your body's actually doing. You have to look at, for a field test, the conditions, is the temperature the same? Is the environmental conditions like heat, wind, any outside factors the same? Are the road conditions the same? Even daily stress levels. I mean, you start one thing, you're like, okay, I rode a certain time for this 10-mile course. 3-4 weeks later, I did the same course. I rode it at a faster time, but my heart rate was about 10 beats higher than it was the first time I did it. There are different, varieties of measures, or basically stress measures that go into that. So how do you really know if you're improving or not? I mean, there are some benefits to doing field tests, and I say that because it's almost like when you do a B or a C race, building up to your A, goal race, to where you can try out, new equipment, different positions, things like that kind of put you in a sense of, that race pace. But the issue of field testing is you have to carefully plan that in your training, because it's like doing a race. It takes away a certain amount of training sessions in order to do that field test. And I'd say I'd rather use field tests as, those build-up races to go into your main program, whether it's you're doing an Ironman and you're doing a couple Olympic distance or even a half Ironman, where you're not going in fully rested, but you're using it more as a training race. There are small benefits to doing field tests, but to get the accurate measure of what your body's actually doing is through a lab test. Mostly what I do here is, VO2 testing, where I'm measuring gas exchange of the body, and to actually tell you what and how your body is using its fuel sources. So, you're working out or you're testing an environment that has very stable conditions, to where you can pinpoint, it's not related to a wind or a heat. You can basically just determine how your body is using its fuel sources at each particular increment or increase in stress load.